As was forecast by Tannenbaum yesterday, Kenny Pickett was traded to the Raiders, so that quarterback room in Cleveland now has one less face. What are you hearing about their plans at quarterback and why they were willing to trade away Pickett?
Well, they got offered, obviously, a pick for Kenny Pickett. That was a valuable pick, and Cleveland now has 2 ones, and they have extra picks later in the draft, so they are going to be armed and ready for the 2026 draft. Look, Kenny Pickett was a value. They have Dillion Gabriel, who they like. They have Shedeur Sanders, who they like. They don't have an experienced backup to Joe Flacco right now, but I think this team is willing to ride through that, especially with the way that Dillion Gabriel looked this summer.
So that's the point. While they haven't named it yet, the real question is who's going to be the backup, because that player is one hit away from being on the field on opening day. It's going to be Gabriel.
Yeah, who played very well this preseason, in fairness, Greeny, but as Hebo just reminded me, he's in 3rd percentile in height. It's really hard to have sustained success in the NFL. Drew Brees is the obvious outlier when you are so short. So to me, it's a big risk. You go from 4 quarterbacks, which we've talked about all summer long, to literally for a 40-year-old quarterback to be backed up by a very unproven, very short by NFL standards 3rd-round pick.
Yeah, so we will see Dillion Gabriel, and maybe at some point we will see Shedeur Sanders. That story remains, that quarterback room remains an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've always said, like, this season should have an eye towards what you're going to be in 2026 at the quarterback position. You're going to keep both of the rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe both of them get the chance to play. Mike T, yours is the next burning question. Joe Mixon will miss the first 4 weeks of the season with a foot injury, as was forecast by Shefty yesterday. Tell us again, the wide open AFC South. Which team do you like?
The Tennessee Titans. Look, the Texans will have 4, maybe 5 new stars on the offense. Joe Mixon's out. And when you think about Cam Ward, this is the quietest first overall pick we've ever seen. And he, to me, is going to have a spectacular season. Tyler Lockett, Calvin Ridley, really solid offensive line. They have Tony Pollard. I think this is a team that could compete and win the division this year, Greeny.
Don't be shocked if Tennessee is a lot better than most of the forecasts. Speaking of forecasting, according to ESPN Bet Sportsbook, the Pittsburgh Steelers win total for this season is just 8.5. This for a team that's coming off back-to-back 10-win seasons. They've, of course, also lost 6 straight playoff games. As you probably would have guessed, Aaron Rodgers says he doesn't care about what Vegas thinks at all.
I don't worry about what anybody's saying, what Vegas has a win total at, or any of that nonsense. Every team every year has periods of adversity that they have to overcome and battle and kind of go through it, like the bison running toward the storm. You gotta kind of run to it and embrace it. And if we can do that, then we're going to have a chance to be in the mix.
So again, that's why I said, as only Rodgers can. Like only he could say all of that when asked about Vegas's preseason win total projection. That said, it's 8.5. D Wood, we go over or we go under?
I'm taking the over on there. Listen, we're talking about Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, they sleep their way into 9-10 wins.
Yeah.
And that's without Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Listen, I get he's 41, and that's a big question mark. Can he play the whole slate of games? But this is the best quarterback situation the Pittsburgh Steelers have had since Big Ben has been there. I think that the biggest question, honestly, is the offensive line. The offensive line, if they play well and they play to their strength and protect Aaron Rodgers, come on, I'm taking over.
Greeny, the NFL was created on September 17th, 1920, roughly 105 years ago. In 105 years, there's been 2 quarterbacks, 42 or older, start a playoff game. I'm going to take 105 years and take the under.
So you're going under on Rodgers, at least as far as the playoffs are concerned. Shefty, what are you hearing out of Pittsburgh, the early returns?
Listen, I think they are excited. They felt like this was a position they had to solidify. This is a team, I think, that still has some questions going into the season. I know we talked about Trey Hendrickson and Terry McLaurin. A topic we haven't talked about that's not settled yet is Cam Hayward, the defensive tackle who has talked about retiring if he doesn't get a raise. And they have been unwilling to figure out that situation. So I know we have all these situations that have percolated across the league that have begun to be solved. But Mike is out there, and the topic that hasn't gotten a lot of attention so far is Cam Hayward, who hasn't participated in team drills in practice with the Steelers getting ready to open their season against Your Jets, the three of you guys.
That's correct. All three of us. They're playing against the three of us and the rest of the Jets a week from Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern. And by the way, just so you get a chance to hear it, I've said it a million times, no one says words better than Mike Tomlin does. He had these to say yesterday about his confidence heading into the season.
You can trick yourself into being confident. You can hide underneath your desk. I don't worry necessarily about how I feel, the emotional component of it, because it's just that. It's about putting these guys in position to work individually and collectively and being urgent about that work and understanding that everybody's got the same number of days and the answers to those questions, those bills are going to come due in a short period of time.
Again, I have no idea what he just said, but I loved every second of it. I don't know what that meant. I really don't. But I would like it to be my ringtone if that's on the list of options going forward. All right, we got college football coming up. What an enormous weekend we have this weekend here. And it is the Arch hype begins in earnest with Saturday's showdown with Ohio State. Do he and the Longhorns have a target on their back? You'll hear how he answered that question, and we'll see how Mr. Feinbaum answers this one from Sneaky Hembo. Here we go, Paul. Hembo's coming for you.